Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Report. We're almost a week away. I'm super excited, guys. I mean, the wait has been real. I mean, we're a week out, man. We're not even a week from NFL football. We're 5 days from Thursday night. So we'll have a video out for some of that, and we'll hopefully be live before Thursday night, doing some lineup shows and different things like that. If you guys are interested, this Sunday, I'm still trying to find out a date. So if you guys leave me some comments about what time maybe works best for you guys, I'm thinking around 9 or 10, starting up a live stream show. Leading up until like 12 or 12:15, somewhere in that area before kickoff. Just going over some lineups and any questions you guys might have about the slate, that I could be able to help you guys with. I'm trying to get some people on the show, so maybe if you want to come on the show, just drop it down in the comments, and we'll make something happen. But thank you guys for all your support. We hit 100 subscribers in less than a week, so I'm super hyped about that, guys. It's really been fun, man. I mean, just the amount of support you guys have shown, and super excited for what this channel has to offer, and to bring you guys. I love DFS, and I love NFL, and I love fantasy, so super excited about that. So today we're going over some tight ends on the slate. A few that I think could be possible punt options. Um, and some higher spend up areas, that you could get some different differentiating factors on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start this tight end slate, for week one here in the Millie, or whatever you guys are playing. The most expensive you have is Brock Bowers, and we don't know what to expect out of this Las Vegas team yet, with Geno under the helm and Ashton Genty in the back. I mean, Pete Carroll could just force feed him the whole game, and maybe these receiving receivers and tight ends lag behind a little bit. I don't think that's the case. I actually think New England jumps on them early, and they're forced to throw the ball. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's how this game plays out. I would say New England wins by field goal, 23-20, somewhere in that area. But Brock Bowers, awesome play last year. I was all over him on fantasy. Um, he's a good play at 6,500. He's a little pricey, comparatively to your George Kittles or your Sam Laportas of the world, but still not a bad price at 6,500. He's definitely live in any show. I mean, any main slate, to take down the tight end position. So, really like Bowers. Just don't really like the price. So he's a meh play for me. Um, Another good play is Trey McBride against this New Orleans terrible defense. Um, you know, Bowers and McBride last year, all year long, you were getting 10 receptions, no matter what. It was 10 receptions and 70 yards. And I don't think that's enough, to get at you. You need that touchdown almost to make that pay up worth it. Um, we've seen some weeks with Kittle with 2 or 3 touchdowns even before. Definitely get you there in your tournaments. So if I'm looking for a ceiling performance, out of the top 3 here, and you could throw Laporta in the mix as well, um, is George Kittle, just for the concentration of targets that will be his way. I think if Jawan Jennings is out, George Kittle is a must smash. Um, you know, Behind, I think he's leveraged off of Pearsall. I think Pearsall's probably gonna be in that 30% own range, probably 25-30% own. And that's a little crazy on Ricky Pearsall, but I think it's worth it. But if you want to get a little different and you want to play this a little bit more strategic, you definitely can jump in on your George Kittles and pull some leverage over Ricky Pearsall, and just maybe run a skinny Brock Purdy, George Kittle stack. I'm perfectly fine with that. Kittle has the options, wide outcomes. He could get you 30 points, and we've seen Kittle do that before. 2 touchdowns and 120 yards. It's very possible this game could lead to that, and I really think George Kittle's an awesome play at 5,800. I like him better than I like Bowers and McBride, just for his touchdown equity alone. Those two didn't really score very many touchdowns last year, and I think a lot of that lends towards the offense credibility. Not very good offenses, but still like him. But I really like George Kittle at 5,800. He's my top play of the slate at your spend up options. So now we can kind of jump in this next tier, and we'll kind of cut it off at Zach Ertz. We'll go from Njoku to Zach Ertz. Um, Njoku's live for sure at 4,700. He's a little expensive, more than I like him to be. I like him in that $4,200 range, $4,300 range, and he would be a smash spot for me. But I'll be getting, about what the field has there at 4,700. He'll probably be kind of higher owned. I think you'll see him probably around that 12% range on the ownership. Really like Njoku though in this against the Cincinnati team, who's probably dead last against tight ends. I think it's an awesome play. With Flacco under the helm, this Cleveland offense. I know they're not going to be as productive as we're hoping. From a winning game standpoint, but we don't need to win the game. This is not, we're not betting sides here. We're not picking money lines. We're picking which team has the options to go off and how do those options unfold. And that's how I like to look at slates. And really, that's my process. I just think about, the different range of outcomes that happen. Is this team likely to play behind is one of my main factors in deciding a good fantasy start, for DFS, especially on bringbacks and things like that, or higher owned, spots on the lineups. Um, but definitely like Njoku at 4,700. Another player that's definitely live is Cal Pitts. If you want to pull some ownership away from your Bijans or your Drake Londons, I'm okay with that. I think they'll be highly owned, and rightfully so. I think either one of them have the options to go off completely in this game. But if you want to get a little different and you want to play a little weirder, tight end is the position to do it, especially on weeks like these when a lot of the higher, upside, players are less expensive. Your McCaffrey's only 7,300, right? You're not paying these, $8,400 price tags for these running backs, other than Bijan at 81, which I'm not paying. I think he's overpriced. Um, I'll just pivot to McCaffrey or Bucky Irving, if I'm spinning up. Kyle Pitts definitely allowed to go off at 4,300. It seemed like Penix really liked him down the stretch towards the end of the year. He was one of kind of his. We've seen a resurgence of Kyle Pitts, and I know everybody's been waiting for that for at least the past 4 years, and I'm guilty of it. I've been waiting for the Kyle Pitts resurgence after that first year breakout fantasy year that I had him. Super fun that year, but it's 2025. We got to get over it, guys. We got to think realistically here, and I realistically think that Kyle Pitts can definitely get this done this week with at least 12 points. I think he goes for a touchdown and probably 54 yards, maybe on 4 receptions. So I think this is kind of one of the weeks that he could get it done. He could definitely get you a 12-pointer, and that's all you need at that $4,300 price range. You just got to hope and pray that, your George Kittle doesn't go for 30 or you're dead in the water. But I definitely think Kyle Pitts is definitely valuable at $4,300, and I look for it to be a smash spot for me. Especially in higher owned GPP tournaments, hundreds of thousand entrants. I like to get leverage. So one way to get leverage off this Tampa Bay, Atlanta game is to pull off of your tight ends. And I'm definitely gonna be tugging on that Kyle Pitts string. So Kyle Pitts, probably my favorite play from a leverage point of view. We'll see, what the optimizers are giving us. But definitely could see Kyle Pitts, being around that 7%, which I think is probably a little low for his price tag. Another player I really like, speaking of leverage, he's probably going to be a little higher owned, but if you want to go with your Jaden Daniels at QB and you want to take a chance on this Washington offense, one of the higher outperforming offenses we had last year, Zach Ertz is there for you. He is one of your target guys that Jaden Daniels looks as a safety valve, right there in the middle of the field. He hit him all year last year. Zach Ertz had some ceiling games, dude. We've seen his ceiling. So here we go. We have a 10 against Baltimore. We have a 14 against Chicago. We had a 25 against Atlanta. That was his 2-touchdown game with a touchdown in the end zone to end it. And he had another one against Washington with 24. Against Philadelphia. I don't know why I was saying Washington. So His ceiling is, around that 25 point range under Jaden Daniels. But if we get that 13 pointer that we're looking for, that 15 pointer, that's perfectly fine. Look here, all he did was 5 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown. That gives you 15. So, I think that's more likely of the outcomes, but definitely worth something thinking about when picking off these tight ends. You got to thread the needle almost, is what I've noticed with the tight end position. There's 2 or 3 tight ends each week that are going to go. Um, that are going to be in winning lineups, right? And usually it's a guy that's, around the, $3,800 range is what I've kind of noticed. That's not set in stone, but around that area, that 4K, $3,800 range, I like being there. Um, Another guy that's going to be highly owned, and rightfully so, is Tucker Kraft. We've seen his ceiling games last year. Um, 13, 12, 16, 18, 24. Had a really good year last year. Tucker Kraft was coming out party. One of Love's favorite targets. And against this Detroit team, um, I think the pass rush is gonna get to him a little bit, so I don't think they're gonna be passing as often, but I do think their running game's gonna excel. Um, Also with the addition of Micah Parsons on that, defensive front, really do not like, this Detroit team as much. The line's moved, quite significantly. I think it's moved a point and a half on the spread, in favor of, Green Bay, but I really think that this Green Bay running approach can get it done. I think Josh Jacobs is going to be one of the main backs this week. I know it doesn't really state it in our look ahead, but we're kind of early. I think maybe a little too early. Just seeing how things shake out before the season actually starts. But definitely like Tucker Kraft here at 4K. He's probably going to be highly owned. He's going to be a cash lineup guy, really. Maybe turn up some tournament upside to him if his ownership stays in with reason. Around 15%, which is still kind of high for your tight end. But I think Tucker Kraft at 4K is a good spot. Hunter Henry, another good spot at $3,900 against Las Vegas. New England, we have Drake May. Do we think Hunter Henry is going to be the top target for Drake May? Probably not. But I do think him and Stephon Diggs are kind of that 1A, 1B in the red zone. I think Hunter Henry might have a step up on him in the end zone. They look for him a lot in the end zone. He catches a lot of end zone touchdowns. Um, Goal line 10 and less, goal to go. Um, you know, Hunter Henry kind of gets that workload. Super excited though for this game. I think this is the low key, the most undersought game of the week, and I don't think enough people are going to be on it. So I'm definitely wanting to stack some Drake Mays and some Hunter Henrys in here. Um, $3,900. I really think he could get you that 15 burger that you probably going to need this week. But at 3,900, how can you argue that price tag? So I think he's kind of cheap, and he's a definite play for me. I would like to get around even with the field, maybe a little heavier with Hunter Henry. I think he'll probably come in around 10% ownership if I had to take a stab on it. He might be kind of higher owned. Especially with no K dot and maybe not no K dot and down here in this, pay down spots. If we scroll down and if you wanted to get, you don't even really have to get too nasty, but Fryermuth is in play there in Pittsburgh, 3,200 absolute punt spot. But we've seen Fryer move through this before, especially Mike Tomlin loves giving him the ball. I really think that Freiermuth could get you, that 14, 15 point game that you need. And at $3,200, he's in a good spot. Defensive wise, kind of tough defense, against New York Jets. But maybe we think that Justin Fields is panicking a lot. Maybe not. I think he's going to be a little bit better than people are expecting this year. So I kind of want to, buy in a little early. I mean, sorry, Aaron Rodgers, sorry, not Justin Fields. I was thinking for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, I like for him to kind of, target this tight end range with Freiermuth, maybe with some seam passes. Um, But I think Freiermuth probably could get in the end zone, on 5 grabs and probably 40 yards. But if he gets you that touchdown, you're looking at your 16-point game again. So I really like Freiermuth at 3,200 if you're looking for some punt options. He's going to be no ownership, maybe 2%, 3%. That's it. Um, if we scroll down, Jawan Johnson, where is he at? Where is Mr. Johnson? I guess I'm going to search him up. Okay, 3,300. Jawan Johnson at 3,300. How do we like that play? Um, I like it. I like Jawan Johnson. I don't love it, but for a punt option, he's $100 more than Freiermuth, and maybe in a little bit better shootout potential game. This Carolina Jacksonville game. 3,300. Love him there. Brenton Strange, 3,300 as well. Um, Either or, toss a coin. It's a coin flip. Brenton Strange is going to be highly owned, so I'm probably going to steer clear of that. I think it's one way to differentiate yourself this week. Is just go ahead and exiting out Brenton Strange. I know it's a bold take, but I had him every week last year, and he did it like nothing except for one game. So, yeah. If we go down, you know, these are kind of your Stoneman punts. But we've seen Cade Stover get some playtime last year. I don't think he's a terrible option. He had an 11-point game against Tennessee. Yeah, that was it. One game. He had a 6-point game against Houston. But, punt options, he's definitely live. Oh, sorry. Um, yeah, that's really all I'm seeing. I don't think anybody else. If Foster Moreau's out for New Orleans, so is Taysom Hill. So Juwan Johnson will be your starting tight end and probably will finish the game. So that's super exciting. Juwan Johnson is going to be no ownership as well. So really like him. Anybody else really standing out? Dalton Schultz at 3,500. Okay, we can get down with some Schultz at 3,500. That's not terrible pricing. He has the potential for a touchdown, especially in the red zone. They like him in the red zone. So Darren Waller, if he's healthy, he's definitely a flyer. 3,500, and that's really all I'm seeing on this slate so far. Um, Tyler Warren is probably my spend up guy if I'm not going with a Kittle. I really like Tyler Warren in this Indianapolis team. The rookie. I think Daniel Jones could check down to him a lot at 4,400. I think he's talented enough. I think he definitely could be this. I think he could be one of the elite tight ends in the league. So I really like, Warren's outlook for the year. 4,400, a little pricey for a rookie tight end, but we'll just, you'll have to play him and see, right? So week one, I think he's definitely live at 4,400. Just another player to add to your portfolio of players that definitely has a chance to take off, and especially in this dome against Miami, high-powered offense versus a lackluster defense in Indianapolis. I definitely think this game has shootout potential, and would like to key in on Tyler Warren as well at 4,400. That's going to about do us for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Super excited for week one, dude. We're almost there, man. I've been waiting all summer long, so we're finally here. Look forward to the live stream, guys. If you guys want to tune in on Thursday, I think we'll probably go live around 6. Leave a comment and if you guys would like to come on. Would like to have some of you guys on. I think that would be fun to do, especially on Sundays. I'd like to kind of get the channel interactive. I don't want just quote unquote experts on. You know what I mean? I see a lot of DFS content doing that, and I don't think that's the best move, in my opinion. I would like to have, the listener's point of view as well. I think everyone has something to add to DFS, especially sets of fresh eyes. Because if you watch optimizers too much and you listen too much, you can kind of get in your head with your lineup construction and different strategy techniques. But definitely wouldn't mind having some of you guys on, some of these, first or second year players in DFS. So looking forward to it, guys. I'm super excited for this week. We'll have we'll definitely have at least 3 videos out this week. Look forward to them. I think we're gonna do a strategy video, and we'll have a defensive video, and we'll have a Thursday showdown video coming out. So look forward to that. Yeah, leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for showing up, man. The fantasy report's blowing up, and let's keep on taking it to another level. Super excited for you guys. Excited for the channel. So with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.